Extra will tell you how one local church is already getting prepared for a potential disaster.
And speaking of Severe Weather Awareness Week, we'll tell you which items you can save money on during this tax-free holiday weekend.
And a weather phenomenon in California. What's happening in the southern part of the state that hasn't been done in 19 years.
WBRC Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
Well, thank you for staying with us for First Alert Weather Extra. Had a little bit of rain out there this evening.
We sure did. We always are paying close attention to the forecast, but I really did think at noon, I thought, we're done. And then some just kind of popped up, but it happens sometimes.
It does happen.
Well, we were talking yesterday, we have one of the models we call the HRRR, the High Resolution Rapid Refresh. Say that one 3 or 4 times. But we were looking at it yesterday and we were seeing some indicators there, maybe a couple of isolated showers. And
there were.
They ended up verifying. So we did have a little bit of rain out there, but it's all passing to the south. And some of the cameras, our Sky Vision cameras, putting on quite the show out there today. We've had rainbow photos and you could see some little isolated downpours, almost look like a afternoon in the summer with those scattered showers across Alabama. First Alert Sky Vision, though, right now we're still seeing 60-degree temperatures. It's breezy out there tonight. It's not terribly cold, but if you're heading out and about, that wind is going to add a chill for this evening. But there's still just a little bit of rain that we can find. Again, that wasn't a lot to this, but you look to the south here into Shelby County, you can see right there a little shower hanging on, but this should gradually dissipate. This was really driven by the heating of the day and some colder temperatures aloft, so we ended up with some of those pop-ups there happening. You can see a little shower around Cruzville. They're tracking to the south and east, but this is all going to end. Notice rain chances coming to an end tonight, and we'll see the temperatures bottoming out in the 40s for tomorrow morning, so plan for those temperatures to stay above freezing. But look at this. It's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow. Afternoon highs in the 60s. By lunchtime showing 57. Areas to the north, I think we'll stay in the 50s for a good part of the day, but further south and further west you go, temperatures could reach into the mid to upper 60s. But look at the wind forecast. Winds northwest 10 to 20 miles per hour. It's going to be windy if you were thinking about, hey, we got sunshine, beautiful Saturday, thinking about heading out to the lake. Well, that wind's going to be a factor tomorrow, 10 to 20 miles per hour, and we could have some gust out there, topping 20 miles per hour during the day. So just giving you the first alert, doing some yard work tomorrow. It is going to be a little blustery at times out there as we actually have another cold front that's moving through, but we're not going to see any rain with that. Just a reinforcing surge of drier air that's going to be moving in over the weekend. But these evening showers coming to an end. One of the big stories for the weekend, it's going to be nice, but the Sunday morning lows will drop close to freezing, so plan for that. If you've sat the plants out to enjoy some of this sunshine, make sure they're protected early Sunday morning. We're almost there. I know we've had some cold mornings, but we're going to be watching those temperatures around freezing. We got a severe risk coming up next Wednesday. Still some questions on that, but we've got updates on the weather calendar and what you can expect coming up on Weather Extra.
And this weekend, church-based volunteers are training on disaster response. Southern Baptist Convention Disaster Relief routinely sends out crews when storms rock communities both here and across the country. Tristan Rupert joins us now live. Tristan, what's class like today?
It was entertaining to say the least, and really it's about walking before you run because they needed to spend some time in the classroom from 3 to 9. That's exactly where they were, doing their due diligence, both in small and larger groups, working to learn the ins and outs of how to properly respond when a disaster were to strike. Of course, y'all would keep them updated with everything going on, where the storm's headed, but these are the group that really gets out and about in the community, tries to help those that are really reeling from an awful experience when it comes to severe weather. They're going to cut down some trees, perhaps feed a few folks. And today was about educating them before they get out and about tomorrow, learning how to cook using the mobile units, and really learning a little bit more about how to properly cut down trees. I spoke with some of the coordinators at today's event. They stress events like this are critical in boosting their volunteer numbers.
Somebody's got to replace, we're not going to be here and not able to do a lot of this stuff continually. So we have to have new people coming in to be, carried on.
Now, if you're interested in becoming a volunteer, you missed the opportunity here today and tomorrow happening in Jefferson County, but there is still an opportunity to learn a little bit more over in Tuscaloosa come next Thursday at Skyland Baptist Church. To register or really find out more information, you can head over to the WBRC News app. Reporting in Birmingham, Tristan Rupert, WBRC, Fox 6 News on your side.
Well, a temporary lake forming in one of the hottest places on the planet. Visitors from all over the country going to see the temporary lake in Death Valley, California. On average, Death Valley gets 2 inches of rain a year, but just in the last half of a year alone, the park has gotten nearly 5 inches of rain. People driving from as far as Las Vegas to experience this phenomenon.
Like a Garden of Eden, wouldn't you think? I mean,
You can check it off your bucket list, and you don't know when it's going to happen again.
Normally, there's a lot more evaporative potential than there is rainfall coming in, meaning that this is usually just a dry salt flat.
And the last time a lake appeared in the area was nearly 19 years ago. This weekend, though, is a full moon weekend, and it's an interesting type of moon that you will see. Let's go now to First Alert meteorologist Lauren Linehan for more on this phenomenon. Hi, Lauren.
Hey, Tania, and we need to book our plane tickets to go hang out by that lake. It looks like everyone is having a good time over in Death Valley, but can't go anywhere this weekend. Got to stay home here in Sweet Home, Alabama. The good news is we're going to have clear skies for really tonight and tomorrow night, which should offer great views of the February full moon, which is called the full snow moon. Now, I know that's laughable to us in Central Alabama, because how often do we get snow in February? Not too often, but I guess other parts of the world, they get snow in February, hence the February full moon being called the snow moon. But this is actually a little different. You know, a lot of times when we have a really big, voluptuous moon, we call it a supermoon. This one, though, is a micromoon. Now, why would it be called a micromoon? Because it's going to appear smaller to our eye than maybe a full moon normally would. And that's because it's a little farther from the Earth in its orbit. So if you have any photos, you can see them in on the First Alert weather app this weekend of the full moon. But talking about the moon, what about the solar eclipse? The Great American Solar Eclipse, we are 45 days away from that. That is going to be on Monday, April 8th. Our own chief meteorologist, Wes Wyatt, will be going to cover it live in San Antonio, Texas, which is going to be in the path of totality. Now, here in Alabama, we're going to be at about 80% totality, which is still going to be pretty cool, but we'll be having full eclipse coverage over the next couple of months. Well, coming up, new data shows just how many Americans were displaced after disasters in 2023. We'll show you the numbers here on Weather Extra.
Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. One of the coolest things we get to do is when our team gets to get out in the community, go visit the schools. Today I was in Tuscaloosa, and what a wonderful day for a weather visit. Nice drive there to T-Town. I actually went to Coker to visit Westwood Elementary School and say hello to all the little kindergartners. They were all smiles today because it was Friday, and they were so excited there for the weekend. And also we talked about spring break around the corner. But I tell you what, they really knew their stuff. They've been talking about the seasons. Ms. Woodruff said they've been talking about weather and weather safety, and they knew what to do when storms arrived. So they did a great job, and we actually sang the Thunder Roar song. We did We Love Snowy Days song. I don't know if that's a fan favorite of everyone, but the kids sure enjoyed it there today. But I want to thank all the students and all the kindergartners there and all the faculty. And listen up, teachers. If you want our team, we have largest weather team in the Southeast. We have plenty of folks here that can get out there if you want to schedule a visit and set that up. You can go to our website, WBRC.com, and look for Weather in the Classroom.
Thanks, Wes. Well, we're getting some new video out of China this evening showing just how dangerous icy roads can get. You can see all these cars just clumped together on a highway in Suzhou. Local media says the pileup involved more than 100 cars, and unfortunately at least 9 people were injured. A new Census Bureau survey shows nearly 2.5 million Americans were displaced from their homes due to natural disasters last year. Now, while that number is less than in 2022, the survey shows there were 28 disasters that cost more than $1 billion. That far surpasses the previous high of 22 events back in 2020. Well, coming up on First Alert Weather Extra, we'll tell you what you can buy during the tax-free weekend for severe weather awareness.
Well, last week was recognized as Severe Weather Awareness Week, but also we have a preparedness weekend coming up. This weekend you can get prepared for tornado and hurricane seasons by purchasing supplies for the sales tax weekend holiday. Let's go to First Alert meteorologist Matt Daniel with more on what that comes.
Well, we're at the weekend. We're getting closer and closer to spring. So we got your countdown to spring. You know, in about 16 days and about 2 weeks, we spring forward as daylight saving time begins. So that means we're going to get some extra daylight, especially during the evening hours. St. Patrick's Day is about 23 days away and just 25 days away until spring. And, you know, we've had spring-like weather already. And here's a little made-up calendar I made for you for this spring and summer. summer. So here's our seasonal calendar. Right now we're in that fall spring. It's been kind of warm. It's been a tease. But coming up, maybe some heavy rain potential. Pollen's going to be everywhere. There's always a tornado scare at spring and severe weather season, and then there's always a late freeze. It usually gets cold in late March and early April at some point. And then, of course, spring officially arrives and then just turns really warm and eventually hot as we go into the summer months. But of course, getting into March and April, of course, is a severe weather season. And this is a look at our tornadoes by month in the state of Alabama between 1950 and last year. And notice that spike when it comes to tornado counts in March and April. So typically we'll start to see an uptick in severe weather in those 2 months, and it usually slows down as we go into the summer months. And with that in mind, this weekend, of course, you can purchase some important tools that can be part of your plan to stay safe with that sales tax for severe weather preparedness for the state. So just to give you an idea, if you purchase batteries, it includes AAA, AA, C, D, 6 volt, 9 volt batteries. It does not include car or boat batteries, but those essential batteries that you could use, for instance, to put in your weather radio or other devices, that's included for that sales tax. Of course, first aid kits, including a weather radio, is included as well. So if you haven't purchased a weather radio, this might be a good weekend to do so. Also, some other items, for instance, like a gas can, maybe a light source, including flashlights. Those are included. Phone chargers, believe it or not, those are also included, and include cellular phone batteries as well. And then other things, for instance, like a fire extinguisher, plywood, or even a window film, those are included as well. And there's more items than just this that you can find online. Make sure you check out WBRC.com for those latest details. But if you're going out shopping tomorrow, the weather's not going to slow you down. Just make sure you grab a hat, sunglasses, maybe a light jacket. It's going to be breezy, but lots of sunshine as temperatures warm into the upper 50s and lower 60s. So not a bad weekend if you want to go out shopping to get some of those items for the sales tax for severe weather preparedness.
Should have some nice weather tomorrow. Again, temperatures will reach into the 60s. We'll talk about it here. First off, live look at radar. We've got winds out in the northwest. Most areas dry and will stay that way for the rest of tonight, but there's a couple of tiny showers that we're still tracking. Yeah, I just had one of our weather watchers near Calera say west. We just had some rain move through, but there's one little shower around Shelby that's moving to the south here, crossing Highway 145. This will be moving out of the area, though, and that's it. This is the back edge of this, and there's one little tiny shower that's over in East Alabama. This is right there around Bowden Grove, north of Ashland. This is going to be tracking to the south there, so a little isolated shower. Places like Coosa, Clay counties. You can see how the models are picking up on these little isolated showers, a little what we call a surface trough that's moving across the state. That's going to move on by. Rest of the night looks dry, chilly, breezy. Winds out of the northwest at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Overnight lows will stay above freezing, but you'll still need the jacket in the morning with those temperatures down into the 40s there early in the day. 41 here at Hamilton, 44 around Greensboro, Clanton 42, Birmingham 43. You can see upper 30s showing up around Center. And actually tomorrow during the day, when sunshine comes back, it's going to feel nice out there. That wind though still out of the northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. But areas to the far north, we may stay in the 50s for a good part of the day. But areas to the south, notice there around Demopolis, we could top 65 degrees during the afternoon. So that strong late February sunshine will certainly have an impact on those temperatures. Sunday morning though, as the wind settles down tomorrow night, sky mostly clear. We'll likely see some frost, a light freeze early Sunday morning. Notice Sunday morning 28 around Gadsden, 27 for us here around places like Jacksonville, Piedmont, and Center there early in the day. So some freezing conditions there to start the day on Sunday. And then next week, we're going to have a big warm up into the afternoon. Sunday afternoon is going to be very nice. We'll see highs back into the 70s. As we get into next week, by Tuesday, you can see we start to see some more clouds. There's going to be an area where we have rain and storms developing. That's going to be moving in on Wednesday. This is that system we've been telling you about that could bring a risk for some stronger thunderstorms. Notice how we have a strong southerly flow that's going to bring in some of that warm, moist air, could feed some of these storms as they move in. We really need to watch late Wednesday and into Thursday as this moves in. Again, we're looking at next week there, Wednesday afternoon and evening. I think that's when we see the greatest risk for for anything as far as a possible severe storm. Need to watch out for some gusty winds, some hail producers. It looks like we're probably going to get one of those classic lines that move in here from the west direction, but it may be weakening as it moves in. Timing is going to be a big factor here as well. But you can see there's 10 a.m. next Wednesday. What you're looking at, I know there's a lot going on here, but this is the storm fuel, and we've got the wind direction at the surface and the winds aloft. So you can see the winds change direction with height. So when you have that wind shear in the atmosphere, that's one ingredient, and then you have a little bit of instability that's in place. Some of those combinations are there for a window late Wednesday and Wednesday night when we could see some stronger storms. So just giving you the first alert, and that system now looks like it's going to stall out. So we're going to see some rain coming back towards Friday of next week, and we'll talk a lot more about that right now as we go to meteorologist Tania Michelle with the First Alert weather calendar. And Tania, we were seeing that possibility yesterday, now looks more likely.
Yeah, it really does, Wes. I mean, look at this on our First Alert weather calendar. The areas that you see highlighted in red, that means there is a rain and possible storm chance, at least storms for next Wednesday. We're talking February 28th. This is closer to the end of the month. Then we might have a break of rain and storms on Thursday before another round of wet weather moves through Friday and into next weekend. Man, I was really hoping next weekend we could be dry, but as of right now, our latest model guidance is showing that, well, there's a chance for rain for the start of March. March 1st on Friday, March 2nd on Saturday. I was even looking at some weather models. There's a possibility of a few showers early Sunday. And then we're looking dry for that first full week of March. But notice that next Friday, the Friday following Friday, March 1st, well, the 8th, we can see another chance for rain back in our forecast. Now, what does this mean between our 8 to 14-day rainfall outlook? This is March 2nd through March 8th, and it looks like we can see above average rainfall. But what about those temperatures? Well, not mad at this one. For most of the United States, we're actually going to be seeing above average temperatures. This is March 2nd through March 8th, excluding areas far to the west. Sorry about that. My friends in California, Las Vegas, Washington, and your temperatures are on the cooler side. But for us, as far as our average temperatures, we're going to be trending warmer than usual at this time of year. So keep checking in for updates next week as we approach that next storm chance. But one of the cool things about being a meteorologist, especially here at WBRC, we have the opportunity to visit schools to teach students and kids about the weather. I had the opportunity to go on a school visit today and thought I'd take you with me. Come with me to read my children's book to some kiddos. So I started making my way downtown Birmingham to head to the school, and we finally arrived. We are here at the Elizabeth Perry Rushton Child Development Center. Greeted at the door by the very best and greeted with smiles and waves from the kids. We read my book, Weather Wonders, Exploring the Skies with Mom, and then we had to take a picture. All right, guys, we're gonna take a picture, okay? That's always a struggle with toddlers. Oh, you want a hug? Yay, we love hugs. We love hugs. Aw. There you go, perfect. You want to sit down too? Have a seat. No, go back over there. Have a seat right there. Sit right there.
Jerry.
Right here. Jay, sit right there. Sit. There you go. All right. Hold the book. Look, okay, you guys can hold it together. There you go. And we finally had 2 seconds for the perfect shot. How cute. And I didn't leave empty-handed. I walked away with some goodies myself. Oh, I love it, guys. Oh, thank you so much. All right, William, sit real quick. One more picture for safekeeping. And that is a wrap. That was fun. I just have got to say thank you to the amazing staff and faculty at Elizabeth Perry Rushton Child Development Center for inviting me out. And an even bigger thank you for the hard work they put in every day to keep those kids entertained, but also educated. Don't go anywhere though. We'll have a final look of First Alert Weather Extra. We'll be right back.
Well, with the scattered showers, some lovely photos out there this evening.
That's so pretty.
beautiful. I love that.
Gosh.
Yeah, that was. I believe that was actually over Aniana. Yeah, that was over Pinson there. So we do have one. There it is, Aniana. I wanted to show you this rainbow that Anthony Dobbins shared in.
Beautiful.
We actually captured a rainbow earlier on our camera down in Chelsea.
Ooh, look at that one.
Ooh, oh, that is so picture perfect, right?
And I think we also saw a little bit of virga in some of those photos too. Some of that rain evaporating before it gets to the ground. Here on Red Mountain, though, the rain actually fell, which was nice.
It did. Very much.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, well,
And it's the weekend,
no rain for the
y'all.
weekend. A cold Sunday morning. More updates first at 9.